Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. My name is Wilson Sanders, Head of Business Development in EMEA for IT Glue, but also here representing Kaseya. So for those of you that might not have heard of either business, I'll give you a quick rundown on both. Kaseya were originally founded in the year 2000 as a remote monitoring tool software vendor, one of the first to market in that respect, and over the years diversified their portfolio, partly through organic growth, creating new systems such as Kaseya BMS and a variety of other tools that they use, but also a lot through acquisition with tools like Rapid Fire Tools, ID Agent for dark web monitoring, Unitrends for backup, who are here with us today, and also IT Glue, and by virtue me as well. So IT Glue is a best-in-class documentation platform. It's built to give you one secure central repository for all your critical information that you and your teams rely on every single day, but also built to make that extremely accessible at a few clicks of a keyboard, essentially. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the benefits of an integrated tool set, but I'm mainly going to show you that within our platform and show you how that works. So the screen that you can see here, this is the IT Glue dashboard. It's the screen that you and anyone else will see when they first log into the platform. Now, the platform itself is organizational based, meaning you'll have a separate site or a separate area within the platform for all the different locations that you manage if you're an IT team, or customers that you manage if you're a customer-facing business. Now, I'm going to start by jumping into Happy Frog here, because this is a demo organization in this instance. And you can see down the left-hand side how IT Glue is actually set up. So it's into three main parts, which we call pillars of documentation. The first of these is your core assets. This is essentially base data, bits of information that will likely exist across every single organization that you manage within the platform. Then under the title of apps and services here, we have what we call flexible assets. And this is essentially a set of templates based on the services that you provide every single day. The purpose behind these, because they are templates, every service that you offer will be documented in the same way across every organization within your IT Glue, thereby essentially creating a structure and standardization, because they'll all look the same, feel the same, and every one of your team members can access them at the same velocity. Finally, we have your procedural element. This is just our document section, so all your how-to guides, knowledge base articles, SOPs would live in there. So if I jump into our configuration section here, I'll just tell you what we actually classify as a config. So anything with an IP address, essentially. And the information beyond that is relatively simple, and that is by design. We find that our partners, before using our platform, their staff would often document configs very inconsistently, because there's a lot of custom information which people can and don't capture sometimes, which leads to very inconsistent, mismatched documentation. So beyond that, we've just got the name and status of the device, as well as what it is, IP address, obviously, serial number, expiry date for any warranties, and also direct links on the right-hand side here to the location where that device is, and the responsible contact at that site for that device. So if I jump in here, you can now see how the information looks at the asset level. You can capture some extra information around configuration interfaces for port detail. And at the bottom here, you can actually start to see the integrated tool set here. So these are all Kaseya products. Network Glue I'll go through in a bit more detail shortly. But we have Kaseya BMS here, which is the ticketing, help desk, asset management system from Kaseya. There I've got a manage button to actually jump right onto this device in my ticketing system, update any tickets, make any changes to it if I need to. But if I also want to work tickets within IT Glue, I can do that as well in the tickets section. We also have the Kaseya VSA integration working here as well. So if I wanted to, I could jump onto this device through our tool called Live Connect, which enables me to remote on and make changes to that device without actually disturbing the end user. If I need to launch a remote one-to-one session as well, I can do that too. And then finally, we've got the Unitrends backup appliance here. You can see populating data at the top, when that last backup took place, how much data storage is being used, and if that backup was successful. Now on the right-hand side here is where a lot of the real power in the IT Glue platform comes from, via what we call related items. So related items are two-way contextual relationships between any of our assets existing on both ends. The whole purpose behind this is to create relationships between relevant data, giving you and anyone else a complete picture of one area of infrastructure, just in this single pane of glass that we have here. We also give you the ability to store passwords in an extremely secure manner and also make them accessible to the people you want to be able to access them. We've got 3 main types, which are embedded, general, and personal. We've got an example of an embedded password here for site local admin for this particular device. Embedded passwords mean that anyone that has access to view an asset within your IT glue, this workstation here in this case, will automatically be able to see the password as well. So you can be extremely broad with these, down to individual organizations, all the way down to individual assets and documents on a group or individual user level. Your general passwords are a little bit more flexible with their own asset records and therefore their own security permissions. And this is just an example of another feature here. You can have one-time passwords generated out of IT Glue. Again, we're all about giving you one single repository to work from and eliminating the confusion that arises with many different repositories. A lot of our partners would often have one device which tended to get thrown around an office whenever someone needed an MFA token. So this feature was a big help when that came in. Lovely stuff. So just taking a back step here and going towards Network Glue, which I've already mentioned. You can see this on screen here. Network Glue is an automated network discovery and network mapping tool within your IT Glue. So it's a companion product. And what it does is you have a very lightweight collector, which you'd install on a Windows machine. This will do a full network discovery via ping, broadcast, WMI, and SNMP, and collect data from every device that's on that network, because it's completely vendor agnostic, and populate data from those devices into a hierarchical relationship map on this diagram, as you can see here. So that device that we saw earlier was actually found from that Network Glue scan. And you can see the same data we were looking at earlier contextually on the right-hand side here. And again, you've got all of your integrated tools into IT Glue below. And again, I'm able to pop into either of those tools and make changes, update those devices if I need to. Perfect. One more thing I want to show you is just around how we manage domains and track SSLs within the IT Glue platform. The process is 99% automated. The only part that isn't is what I'm doing right now, which is typing out the domain. You can obviously import a much longer list of these into your platform from day one. You don't have to type out every single one. But via the platform's native integration with Whois, we will go out and automatically pull all of the DNS, MX records, and raw Whois information for any domain, preview the web page for you as well, and importantly, we'll grab the expiry date for that domain. Now, if there's a publicly available SSL certificate, it'll automatically grab that information as well, populate that data in, again with the expiry date, and automatically create one of those related items back to that original domain. So a very good way of obtaining a lot of information quite quickly, but we're all about saving you time and helping you build automation as well. So we've got a feature that works very well with that called workflows. These are automated alerts out of IT Glue based on different triggers within it. Those triggers are anything moving towards expiry, any document or password being created or updated, or any password being accessed as well, if you want some visibility over some passwords which may be at risk of compromise every now and then. But anyway, for this example here, we've got a domain expiration. So for any domain that moves to within 30 days of expiry, IT Glue will automatically create and send an email to me with a direct link to that domain in my IT Glue with a customizable message saying, please reach out to XXX, this domain is about to expire, and appropriate actions from there. Now, those actions are configurable as well. It doesn't have to be an email to me. It could go to one of you, all of you, as part of a distribution list if I wanted to. And I can post messages in Slack and Teams via a JSON payload through this as well. Now, onto the documentation part of the documentation platform. These all live in our documents section. So you can house anything in any format within IT Glue, whether it's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, HTML. But we recommend information to be stored in our native format, and I'll show you exactly why in just a second. The main reason why is the search feature within IT Glue. So within the platform, everything is audited and ultimately searchable as well. So even the contents of this document that I have here is indexed within my platform and able to be queried by those searches. So for example, if I just copy this bit of text to my clipboard here, I don't want to do that, do I? Copy that to my clipboard. Just make sure I press C. There we go. Head back to the dashboard. I'll show you how we can actually instigate those searches. So you can click on the search icon, nice and easy. You can press Q for a global search. There are a number of different hotkeys here as well, like C for configurations, P for passwords, if I can get it right, S for SSLs, D for any domains, as well as a much longer list of those shortcut keys as well. I'm just going to do a full global search here and paste in that wall of text that I copied to my clipboard earlier. And as you can see, these searches within your IT Glue actually form and happen in line within your window itself. You don't have to go into a different window, and you can actually preview assets, preview people, preview documentation before you actually click into them using your arrow keys. Now scroll down here to the Install Office 365 applications. That was the exact document that we were looking for earlier. Now, if you do have the IT Glue Chrome extension, this will work within any window of your Chrome as well. So if you're in your ticketing system, for example, and someone had raised a ticket about something in particular, then you can actually just highlight particular words, press Q on your keyboard, and that will launch that search within any window that you're actually in your Chrome. Now, the final piece that I want to show you is just around documentation completion, because it's something that a lot of our partners had difficulty gaining visibility of before using the platform. With this completion screen here, it shows you a top-down overview of every single organization that's within your IT Glue platform. And each one of them has a completion score based on how many of your assets are documented versus how many could be. All of the numbers here correlate to how much information exists for each one of those assets. And anywhere where you've got a little Switzerland flag, that means that that documentation isn't present at the moment. So it's very good for identifying where the gaps are, identifying where opportunities are as well, but also actually documenting the information anyway. For some reason, I accidentally pressed back on my keyboard, but I'll show you here. So if I was to click on any of those particular flags, for example, it would take me directly onto one of those templates that I mentioned earlier for me to actually start capturing that information straight away. So from here, it makes the job of documentation much easier and makes your lives much easier by saving you hours and hours of time over the course of just a few months. Now, as part of that, we're all about giving you time back and saving you time, so I've managed to finish just a little bit early for you. So if you do want to come see us and see a little bit more, then we're just down the bottom of the stairs on the left. Thank you very much for your time, everyone.